everybody having a good day today. I know I've having a good day. Man, a lot going on this week. Full-time student, taking care of a lot of stuff, and also working. It's a lot. But today we are going to dive into the second episode of the Sermon on the Mount. So I hope you guys are ready, because I felt like the first one was very good and I got a very positive response from it, and I'm so glad from those who actually were allowed, or not allowed, but who received that information pretty well. So we're going to get ready and just pretty much dive right into the second one, and then from there we can just talk about it. All right, let's get it. So we're going to move on over. Just have to go through the videos. And like how we always do, I can't wait for us to get more into these other videos, because there's so many amazing things that we can all talk about, and so many cool breakdowns. I think the other one, well, I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna just keep moving forward. But I know what I really want to talk about too. But all right, we're gonna get into the second one. All right, guys, I hope you are ready. Let's get it.
Eastern side of the Mediterranean Sea, a teacher named Jesus of Nazareth went up onto a hillside and addressed a large crowd.
It was a crowd of nobodies, poor and sick people, their land occupied by the Roman Empire, who charged heavy taxes. This is a ragtag group.
And while they don't look like much, Jesus claimed that something surprising was starting with them.
So he opened his mouth and said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of the skies." The kingdom of the skies? What does that mean?
Well, Jesus uses this phrase to talk about a new kind of reality. From our perspective, we see a world of violence and corruption where might makes right. But for Jesus, there is a realm where generosity reigns, where there's justice and peace. It's a world where love is the final word.
And that reality might as well be up in the skies. It's beyond us.
Exactly. It's God's heavenly reality, which might seem far off. But Jesus was claiming that heaven was coming to earth right here and now, beginning with these people.
That's unexpected.
And so is what he says next.
Blessed are those who grieve, for they will be comforted.
So this group that's at the bottom of society, they know all about loss and grief. But Jesus said something's coming that's going to turn sorrow into joy.
And then he said, blessed are the unimportant, for they will inherit the land.
And these people are not powerful or important, but just wait, Jesus says, because one day it will be you all who are ruling the world.
Now, okay. I don't know if you guys have been watching the TV show on Amazon. It's called The Chosen. And it's also actually a real life version of the Sermon on the Mount. It's very, very good. I pray that you guys get to watch it. I'll pull it up at the end of the video just so you see what it looks like on Amazon Prime Video. But yeah, it is pretty good. But to tie back into what I was originally about to say, one thing I did learn from watching this, as well as watching the TV show The Chosen, and also reading it in the Bible, Jesus did focus more on, sorry if y'all can hear my kids, bro, they're just out there playing. But yeah, they out there going crazy. Probably gotta tell them to be quiet a little bit. But oh my goodness, they're doing a lot. But yes, so they did focus a lot more on the fact that Jesus wanted to focus directly more on the poor and the sinners, because those were the people that he was most focused on. He was trying to, show like the bottom tier that even you can be saved. Like it really starts with you. It really starts with you. That's why a lot of people today would say that they believe that the homeless has a better chance of getting into heaven than most preachers and pastors, because the homeless have nothing but God. Preachers and pastors, in a lot of people's eyes in modern day, receive so much from the church that provides their lives and such. and it makes other people feel, and it's crazy because that's how people feel, but it makes other people feel that, you know, they might be somewhat disconnected from what they originally started their purpose off to be. So that's why a lot of people in life would definitely say that um they believe that the lower tier is the ones that have the best chance of making it to God, because they really have nothing to go off. They have nothing to have, you know. And when you take away those barriers of everything that we deal with in today's society, you see, once you rip back those layers and you get closer with God, you see that how many things are actually in front of you that separated you from God. I believe in today's society, number one, money is the biggest thing that separates all of us from God. And I don't believe that it's healthy. You know, I'm somebody that believes that money should be, hell yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I believe as a kid, money should have been eliminated a long time ago. It should just been like a trade for goods, and you work, I build your house, you build my house, and we work together to build the community type deal. That's how I thought it should have been while growing up. But hey, that's the way we live in. All right, let's continue. I don't want to get off track.
You know, it kind of sounds like Jesus is trying to start a revolution.
Well, kind of, but it's not a revolution for those who are hungry for power or influence. This is a movement of people who are going to serve because they long for healthy relationships between people and communities and nations.
Yeah, as Jesus puts it next, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. They will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy.
Just imagine it. A group of powerless nobodies ruling the world through generosity and forgiveness and justice. This is a Jesus-style revolution.
The next thing Jesus says is, blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. And this one really raises the bar. To be part of this revolution, my heart needs to be so pure I could look directly at God.
Well, Jesus knows that all of our choices, even our good ones, are often driven by mixed motives. For Jesus, real peace is only possible through people who know that they need to be transformed if they're going to truly love God and others.
And this sounds wonderful, but it's a radical calling.
That's exactly right. In fact, Jesus goes on to explore just how radical it is.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God.
So God's new reality won't just happen by itself. It requires people who are willing to enter into the conflicts of others, urging and helping create a way towards peace.
But that way of life,
I would like to say real quick, if I'm not mistaken, and I pray this isn't false news because I didn't do any research on it, just hearing this right here, there was just a young man, I believe, in Chicago that was killed for breaking up a fight. This kind of ties into what I'm now hearing from this. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how everything plans out. We got this, like me, and I think I read it. I think I read that today, literally. I don't know if it's true. I wish I did the research before actually speaking on it here. But if it is true, you know, God bless that man, because clearly he was working through his way of God. And when I say that, I mean like he was following what God was telling him to do. He was doing the best thing he felt was the right thing to do. You know, and I pray that God, you know, blesses him and holds him close while he as he, has that trip to heaven, man, because it's sad, but, it shows. It literally says it right here. It's crazy how that ties in. It's crazy.
life can be dangerous. And so Jesus says, blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of the skies.
Yeah, entering into conflicts and advocating for peace, that's not a comfortable way to live. And so Jesus calls people to this peacemaking revolution, and he names the high cost.
Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward in the skies is great, for they persecuted the prophets who were before you in the same way. What does that mean, the prophets before you?
Well, Jesus and this whole crowd are Israelites. And in their Hebrew scriptures, God promised that it would be through Israel that his kingdom would be restored over all the world.
But as the story goes, Israel becomes as corrupt and violent as everyone else, and they end up enslaved.
I'm just going to let that information right there simmer with y'all right now. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
To oppressive nations.
But Israel's prophets stood up to these kingdoms and criticized their corruption. They said that one day God's heavenly kingdom would break in, starting with a small group of Israelites who would be willing to surrender everything over to God.
So Jesus wants this crowd to see that they're part of that legacy.
Yes, and that's why Jesus concludes this first block of teaching with 3 images from their scriptures.
The first is, you are the salt of the land.
Salt is a mineral that preserves food for a long time. And in the Bible, salt is used as a symbol of God's long-lasting covenant with Israel. Jesus is saying that he and this ragtag group are the launch party of God's long-lasting ancient promises to renew the world.
And then Jesus says, you are the light of the world, and a city on a hill cannot be hidden.
He's referring to the biblical image of God's light, his presence shining out from its dwelling place in the temple in Jerusalem, which was a city on a hill.
But these people, they aren't the rulers. I mean, they don't even live in Jerusalem.
And yet, surprise, Jesus says, you all are God's salt and city and light. You all are the blessed ones, the new Jerusalem that's going to display God's kingdom to all the world.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this second episode that I'm posting. I pray that you guys stay tuned for the third and on. Again, I am sorry that I didn't post this sooner. Being a full-time student and being working full-time is actually very hard, and it's much harder than it looks. So, but yeah, after this, I'm gonna go spend some time with my family because clearly they're having a good time. So again, thank you all so much for your support. And I thank you, God, for everybody that was able to see the first video and have a positive reaction from it. I pray that I can continue to do this for folks so that they can find their way closer to God. That's all I'm doing this for. Not for the money, not for the notoriety, not for none of that. I'm really just doing this just so people who don't know the smallest things that can save you and get you to heaven, I pray to God that you can find it through these. I pray to God that you can find it through any of this. And you can use this and you can start your path closer to God. That's it. That's all, man. I love you guys. Thank God for you all. Again, like, share, subscribe, comment on the post, whether you like it and stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Just thank God for y'all. God bless you, man. Peace.